How to maximize your gathering in New World Aeternum? This is a question a lot of people have been asking me here in the comments and in game, and I'm going to share with you today my top tips and tricks and things that you need to look out for when you are trying to maximize your gathering efficiency and yield here in New World Aeternum. If you find the video useful and informative, please do drop me a like and a subscribe down below, as both of those things massively help out me and the channel. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first thing to note about gathering is the actual gathering skills themselves. So of course you've got logging, mining, harvesting and tracking and skinning. Now you do also have fishing on there, but I would class that more in this casual category. And in each of these skills, the max level is now at 250. Once you get to 250, you can start going up into aptitude levels. As you can see, I have got here on my fresh start account on the mining. Once you get into your aptitude section of leveling, every third of a level, you will get an aptitude cache, each increasing in value as you get the first one, the second one, and fully up to the next level. We'll get a better and better cache containing potentially better items. So that is why you're going to want to level up once you get there. Now, as well as that, when you are leveling the skills going throughout the game, you will of course unlock new things that are able to be gathered depending on the skill. So if we click into login here, you'll be able to see each of the different things, and you can do this for each of the different trade skills to see what you can gather and when you can gather it. Alright, so now we've got the basics out of the way, there's some important things we need to look at, and that is going to be the easy XP that you can get here with rare items. Now, when I'm talking about rare items, it's this stuff down here, so the strange, or pollen, pearlbone or resin. Then you've of course got the abnormal versions and the unusual versions. Now there is also a purple tier of these, but these are much rarer, and I'm going to show you a way in which you can get each of these three once per day. But firstly, what do they do? Well, basically you can go into the corresponding refining station. So for fishing, it's going to be the cooking station. For mining, it's going to be the smelting station, and so on and so forth. And you can go over to these stations and scroll your way down, and what you'll be able to see down here is the fishing research journals. Now, of course, this is just for the cooking station, so it's the fishing one. The first thing here will give me 551 for fishing, and I've never done any fishing, maybe a couple of fish I've caught, but that's it. And you can see already I'm level 28 because I'm just doing this every single day, this method, and I'll show you in a moment how you can actually get these. But as you can see, they are very, very good. Now you are also able to get them for the regular gathering skills, as it were, as well. So you can see here the harvesting research notes. The first one here is going to give me just shy of 1600. Then the second tier one, the abnormal, are going to give me 4134, and then finally here the unusual variant is going to get me 10,000 XP, which is really, really huge, and that's got me 2 levels at level 200. As you can see there, if you do manage to get hands on with the bazaar stuff, that is going to give you a nice chunk of 15,000 harvesting XP, but these are a little bit harder to come by. Now, you will get them from gathering. Every single time that you gather something, you have a chance to get a rare item, and so you can pick these up just as you're going around collecting resources from the respective gathering skill. But if you head over to your faction shop, right from day one, you're able to do this, and it is going to be these mastery caches. So you can get these ones here for 1,000 tokens and 1 gold 50 at the first tier. At the second tier, you can grab these blue ones, which are going to give you the abnormal versions of these materials, and these cost you 2,000 tokens and 50 gold. And then at the third tier of your faction, you're going to get these purple greater mastery caches, which cost you 4,000 tokens and 100 gold, and that is what is going to give you the unusual or the blue tier of these rare resources that you can use towards getting your next level or next aptitude. It's a good boost on new characters, or if you're on a fresh start world like I am here, or it's even a really good boost to do every single day towards your next aptitude. You can get all of these daily, and as I said, when you are going around gathering, you can also just pick these up as a byproduct of what you are gathering as well, so you get these naturally going through your journey. Next, we're going to look at attributes. Attributes play a big part when you are going out and gathering in terms of your yield and in terms of your efficiency. So each attribute has a different gathering skill linked to it. With strength, you've got mining, dexterity is for skinning, intelligence is for harvesting, focus is for fishing, and constitution is for logging. And if you go ahead and go through all of these nodes, you'll see you get speed, then you get encumbrance, a bit more encumbrance here, then we get minus 10% weight of mined items, plus 20% mining speed, plus 10% yield increase when mining, 25% chance to mine an ore with a single swing, and finally plus 10% chance at finding rare items while mining. So those rare items are going to be things like your gems, your cinnabar, your tolvium, and also the items that I talked about at the beginning there that can give you the boost in the XP when you take them to the refining stations. So this is going to be really, really crucial. You want to make sure that you've got the attribute for the trade skill that you're trying to level, or the gathering skill that you're trying to level, fully spec'd out up to 350 to give you all of the bonuses that you can get for that skill, pretty much for the cost of basically a respec, so around about 50 gold. You can also get gathering sets for each of the different professions in the game, so each different gathering skill that you want to do, let's say for example harvesting here, you can get a set of gear which will give you the attribute bonuses. So you can see for harvesting it is intelligence, so you're going to actually get a boost to the stat itself. And you'll also get what you'll see here, which is the reinforced harvesting luck, and this one gives you plus 4.5% chance at finding rare items while harvesting. Now, like I mentioned there, that is of course all of your different rare items that you get, including those XP boosting ones, which is really, really crucial. So that is going to help you to level up a lot. Now, just to highlight this, they are quite expensive, especially here on my fresh start server. I'm on Draco EU, so the prices may differ if you are on a different server. But you can see here, these are around about 8k for a Harvester's Hat, but this is the 700 gear score variant. Now, what 700 gear score does for the gathering sets is actually allows you to get the harvesting yield per piece. So it gives you plus 1.5 resources while harvesting per piece that you have on, so a grand total of 4.5 additional yield if you have the full 700 set on. Like I said, right now this is pretty expensive, but further down the line, or if you get them as drops, it's definitely something you want to work towards if you are going to be gathering a specific skill mostly, or a couple of specific skills, because this is going to boost both your luck and your yield if you've got the 700 gear score, so it is really, really worthwhile. Now, the next thing that you can do here, of course, is put up the trophy buffs in your house. As you can see here, I have 3 of these minor mining gathering trophies, and these give me each plus 500 mining luck. Now, this is the first and cheapest tier that you can have in each of your houses, the tier 2s, but you can increase these to the tier 3s for plus 1,000 per trophy, and tier 4 eventually for the 3rd tier, which will give you plus 1,500 per trophy. Again, it's going to make sure that you're getting more of those rare items when you are out and about gathering, which is really, really useful. It's worth noting that eventually in New World Aeternum, you will be able to work your way up to this right here, which is the ultimate gathering trophy. Now, this one will give you plus 1,500 luck while harvesting, logging, mining and skinning, and plus 5,000 luck whilst fishing. Now, this does mean that you're going to need a major trophy of every variant, plus the component, the ultimate gathering trophy. I'm going to make videos on this later down the line, but essentially that is what you're working your way up to, because this is the best variant of trophy that you can get in your houses. So that is where you're aiming to go with your trophies. It's the same for the combat and the same for the crafting, as well as an ultimate variant of each, and those are like the end game pinnacle things that you can get. Now, additionally to this, above where you can see the trophy buffs, there is the town project bonuses, and what these will do is give you a yield increase by 20% if you have the right one active. So you can see here, Lumberjack Spirit is 20% yield for logging for 3 days, and we've got 2 hours left on that one. We've then got 50 hours left on a mining yield by 20% for 3 days, and these are essentially wherever you've bought your house, whichever the governing company is, can set off a town project bonus for things like your gathering, but you can also get ones for crafting, and there is also one for additional damage versus corrupted mobs. If you have a house in the settlement that has these active, then you will get access to the buffs. So again, you may want to wait for one of these yield buffs to be active, or you may want to focus on the particular gathering skill that does currently have a buff active, as this is going to massively increase your yield. 20% is a huge amount and is going to come in really, really beneficial. Further to that, when we are talking about proficiency boosting and yield boosting specifically, you can see here you can get these powerful proficiency boosters. These will increase the amount of resources gathered with a tool by 15% for 30 minutes. Now, of course, you can actually get hands-on with these a lot easier by looking at the Gold Touch Proficiency Boosters, and these are what you can get from the new doubloons currency in Cutlass Keys. I've got a full guide up on the channel if you do want to look into that a little bit more and see how you can easily get these, but those are going to be super, super useful to get hands-on with. And just as a side note here, if you have got a tier 5 bag or a 600 plus gear score golden legendary variant bag, and you have this lasting consumption perk, you can see at the bottom of mine there, which means that food, honing stones and ward potions base duration is increased by 16%. That actually does affect these as well, so for the purposes of the video, I shall go ahead and use one of these, and you can see it says 30 minutes, but we actually end up getting 40 minutes of essentially a 15% yield increase, which is super, super useful. So if you have got that, that is going to be really, really good, and we're going to come back to that in just a moment's time. Now, if you want to take this a step further as well, you can also get the level 100 music buff, which will give you Fortune's Favour, which increases yield when gathering. This is going to be really, really helpful, and again, further increase the amount that you're getting each time you're gathering a particular node, which is going to be super helpful. Now, I have just gone ahead and played a quick song there, and as you can see, this gives you a further 7% increase of yield for 60 minutes, so this is super worth getting as well if you are wanting to maximize your gathering. Now, finally here, I'm going to talk about tool perks and also the bag perks. Like I mentioned there, the lasting consumption one is really good, but you can also get extra pockets, which will just generally give you more weight. This is super useful. Further to this, you can get things the burdens perks. So the alchemist burden is what I have on this bag right now, which reduces the weight of alchemy reagents, potions and sickles by 16%. You can get one of these for each of the different gathering skills, so you can make those items weigh less in your inventory as well, essentially meaning you can carry more, which is going to increase your money or your output of whatever you're trying to refine or craft. So that is really, really useful. With each of the tools, of course, the higher gear score you get, the higher the gather speed will be. And you can also get different perks on these, such as luck, which will give you an increase to the luck of the particular skill that the tool is linked to. So here we've got login luck, which is almost a 10% increase at finding rare items, which is really, really useful. We've also got discipline here, which will give me plus 9.7% logging experience while logging. Now, while this doesn't seem that amazing at the start, it is going to mean you're going to get towards max level quicker, and you're also then going to get in those aptitude crates quicker, so that is really good. The main thing about getting these legendary tools is the alignment perks. So as you can see here, I have the earth alignment on, and this is a chance to gain earth motes while gathering a node. You can also get different ones here, so you can see I've got a soul mote one there, another soul one there, and a life one on this sickle. Each of these is really, really good to have so that you can then, of course, ultimately be making more money as you're going around and doing this, or putting it towards your further crafting and refining. And then, of course, the other one that you really, really want to get on these is the harvesting yield. You can see on my sickle here, I've got plus 19% resources while harvesting. This is absolutely huge, and it's certainly something you want to prioritize if you can, because this is going to, again, increase the output and maximize your gathering to the absolute fullest potential. So that is pretty much going to cover it for today's video. That is everything, all of my top tips and tricks to maximize your gathering here in New World Aeternum. If you have found the video useful and informative, please do drop me a like and a subscribe down below, and let me know in the comments which gathering skill you have got the highest so far if you are playing on the fresh start servers, or you have made a new character. Other than that, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you again very, very shortly on a brand new upload. So take care and peace.